Howdy, and welcome to the Mighty Muddy Chuck channel. You may notice that I'm not in the video. I've decided that me being in the videos pretty much does hurt any chance I have of increasing traffic. I'm that hideous, apparently, or my body language is off or something. But anyway, by taking myself out of it, that will tell me if it's my appearance or if it's my speaking, the way I talk. I don't know. But anyway, what I'm going to talk about today is the Federal Reserve. The stock market in no way liked what Warsh was saying. I didn't like it. The 5 biggest takeaways. This is from over at CNBC. That's where I'm sourcing from. No rate changes, but the hawks are circling. There were no apparent dissents to keep the federal funds rate targeted between 3.5% and 3.75%. However, the dot plot of expectations further outshowed an inclination towards a hike later this year. They can't do it. I mean, that's what the article's saying, and that may be what Warsh was hinting at. But if he does it, it's going to be an economic disaster. You do not want to cause the spread between short-term interest rates and long-term interest rates to become inverted again. You don't want to do that. You want to increase the spread so that banks will be able to loan money out and make money. Now, of course, you're fighting inflation. You might want the banks to, loan less money out. But the Federal Reserve still has to deal with its balance sheet. So it's got to reduce the size of its own balance sheet. It's got to have enough money out there to do that. It's got to deal with the debt level of the United States. And raising interest rates actually can make inflation worse or make stagflation worse. We all know that our current inflation is largely because of the price of gas and, the cost of Trump's tariffs that I guess are now being removed mostly. So the Fed may not cut interest rates, but it's highly doubtful that the Fed will raise interest rates. They may want to. Kevin Warsh, that may actually be his plan, but I don't see how he can do it. And they do these meetings and they make their statements and they cause the markets to believe this, they cause the American people to believe that. And then suddenly they do the exact opposite of what they're saying. Now, I don't think they're going to cut interest rates, at least not in the near term. But I don't see how they can raise interest rates. Now, maybe I'm wrong, obviously. But Warsh could be playing with an economic disaster if he raises interest rates. And I probably shouldn't say this, but given Warsh's background, he may want an economic disaster. Remember, his fingerprints were right there during the 2008 crisis. His fingerprints were right there. History tries to record him as being, helpful and beneficial, but he was right there under Bernanke. And we know where his alliance is as far as Israel goes. And there's indications, whether people want to believe it or not, and I'm not saying this to bash any group of people. I'm not saying that. If you've ever seen my nose, you pretty much know I'm not trying to bash that group of people. But Israel itself is dangerous. They got us into a war. They want to keep us in a war designed to do damage to the United States and to our economy. Does Warsh want to do damage to our economy? No, obviously Donald Trump must not believe so. And hopefully Donald Trump is right. But this period of high gas prices has already done damage to the American economy. It's already done damage. So maybe Kevin Warsh, maybe he knows what he's doing and maybe he'll do the right thing and maybe there's rainbows and unicorns, but just be aware, damage has been done to the American economy, and there's a reason the stock market dropped because of what they heard from Warsh. They didn't like it. And the people on Wall Street often have a pretty good understanding of the economy. Sometimes they don't, but generally speaking, they do. And the spread between, short-term interest rates and long-term interest rates, making it impossible for banks to loan money out and profit from it. Doing that on top of the damage that the tariffs did and the oil prices have done, it's like, in my opinion, and again, I could be wrong, it's like a formula for economic disaster. Much thanks for listening. I do appreciate it.